Hello, my name is Nur Hadi Ibnu, and I want to do my listening task. So let's get started. Part 1. Answer this question. 1. Retell that audio using your own words. Answer. Once upon a time, there was a poor miller who had 3 sons. The years went by and the miller died, leaving nothing but his mill, his donkey, and a cat. The eldest son took the mill. The second born son rode off on the donkey, and the young son inherited the cat. Oh well, said the young son, I will eat this cat and make some millions out of its fur. Then I will have nothing left, and I shall die of hunger. One day Puss came up with a clever plan. He said to his master, don't worry, I will help you become rich and successful. Trust me and follow my instructions. The cat started by bringing boots to its owner. He then pretended to be a wealthy landowner and instructed him to put on his boots and go to a nearby town. The cat told him so, and he called him Marquis Carabas. The young man was a little skeptical, but tried to heed the cat's advice. As he walked through the city, people marveled at his elegant boot and thought he was an important figure. Rumors soon spread that the Marquis of Carabas had arrived. One day, the cat learned that the king and his daughter, the princess, were moving through the area. He said to his master, this is your chance to win the princess' heart and prosper even more. Leave everything to me. The cat knew that the king and princess were going on a trip. I went to a nearby field. He ordered his master to jump into the river and pretend to be in danger. As the royal carriage approached, Bass began calling for help, claiming that the Marquis de Carabas was drowning. When the king heard the cry, he ordered he ordered his guards to rescue the Marquis. The cat pulled him out of the water and told him that his master's clothes had been stolen by thieves who had fled through the field. The cat led the king and princess through the fields. There, the king had secretly arranged for some peasants to work. He asked them, have you seen the thief who stole my master's clothes? Impressed by the Marquis' reputation for popularity and influence over the country, the king admired him and invited him to ride with him in the royal carriage. During the journey, the cat kept the king captivated with tales of his master's greatness and accomplishment. Eventually, the young man revealed his true identity to her princess and won her heart. The king was pleased with the Marquis of Carabas, gave him great wealth, and gave him the title of prince. And thanks to the tomcat's cleverness and speed, the miller's son became a wealthy prince and lived happily ever after with his princess bride. Puss became a great lord and never ran after mace anymore, except for pleasure. Part 2. Answer this question. 1. Create the note. The answer, Mike Flannery, the Westcott agent of the Interurban Express Company, leaned over the counter of the express office and shook his fist. The cause of the trouble stood on the counter between the two men. It was a soap box, across the top of which were nailed a number of strips, forming a raw but serviceable cage. In it, two spotted guinea pigs were greedily eating lettuce leaves. Mr. Morehouse argued with Flannery, arguing that rules are rules and Flannery would not break them. Flannery threw a book of transportation rates, stating that domestic pets cost 25 cents each. Flannery offered 50 cents for the pets, which Mr. Morehouse accepted. At page 64, the agent explains that if an agent is in doubt about two rates to charge on a shipment, they should charge the ledger rate. The person receiving the shipment can claim for the overcharge. Mr. Morehouse, however, is skepticism and screams at Flannery, who insists that the rule only applies to common pigs, not guinea pigs. Flannery firmly believes that pigs are pigs, and Mr. Morehouse is outraged. He offers 50 cents, but Mr. Morehouse refuses and threatens to have the law on him if one of the pig's heads is harmed. Flannery then lifts the box from the desk and puts it in a corner. Mr. Morehouse wrote a letter to the president of the Transportation Express Company requesting that all claims for overcharge be sent to the claims department. The claims department informed Mr. Morehouse that they had discussed the matter with the agent at Westcott, who claimed Mr. Morehouse refused to accept the two guinea pigs shipped to him. Henry struggled to collect the guinea pigs, and he received a telegram from the company requesting an error in the bill. When he returned to the express office and found that 186 guinea pigs had entered the ward since he left. He was even willing freed from the guinea pigs and told that as long as Flannery runs the express office, pigs, cows, horses, lions, tigers, and Rocky Mountain goats are pets. The rate on guinea pigs is 25 cents. Flannery reflected on the situation and compared to the situation of if the guinea pigs had been 11. Part, part 3. Make a note. 1. Make a note for the story. The answer. If I ask you to describe a great leader, I'd be willing to bet certain traits come to mind. Someone charismatic, dynamic, inspiring, a confident public speaker. You are probably imagining a man too, but that's a bias. We tend to think of great leaders as people who naturally take to the stage, who draw other people to them by their sheer presence, who are extroverts. Of course, we are drawn to extroverts if they are the boss. They allow space for the ideas of others to grow because they are not trying to make their mark. You won't need to worry about them stealing your ideas or talking over you in a meeting. Some of our great creators are introverts too. It turns out coming up with good ideas is easier when you are engaged in quiet, solo contemplation than when you are leading the cheerleading squad. Extroverts are great. Some of my favorite people are extroverts. The introverts at school are judged negatively by their teachers, and when they reach the workplace, they are passed over for promotion into leadership positions. I'm not saying let's get rid of extroverts and grab all those talkative, sociable performers at primary school and send them off to the library for 4 hours a day of solitude until they learn to tone it down. I'm saying we're doing something like the opposite of the two introverts and we need to stop. We need to allow them space to be themselves and then we will end up getting the most out of our extroverts and our introverts. Let's create space in offices and at conferences for people to work on their own when they want to and give them the opportunity to come together to share ideas. Let's give staff away days where they go off into the woods, work up a mountain or wherever to work on something alone, as well as the team building day where everyone learns to dance salsa together. And then we've got to make sure we listen to our extroverts and our introverts and everyone who sits somewhere in between on the scale. We are going to need all of them. So that is all my video about listening tasks. Thank you.